if you're already a member, membership has privileges. And a little later, I'm going to be sharing with you some really, really exciting news that is happening next month. And I'm going to need everybody to lean in. So before I go any further, though, I want to announce all of our new members. And even if you're not here, I want to welcome you. If you're watching this on replay, just understand what we understand is that you are not here by mistake. You are here for a reason. And we are so, so excited that you leaned in and you joined. So I want to welcome, first, let me welcome the folks that are in the room. So I already welcomed Rosemary Lewis. Welcome to our sisterhood. Cynthia Smith, welcome to our sisterhood. Don't be looking like, I see you, girl. We got you. I want to ask you, though, I'm going to unmute you just for a moment. Cynthia, what made you feel like, okay, this is something that I am ready to commit to? So I'm just going to ask you to unmute.
Well, I've been following you for a while, for a few years now, and I've been in the challenges maybe about three, 4 times.
Really?
So yeah. So it was just a desire in my heart to really invest into my finances because I want to know how to invest properly. You know, I dabbled and dabbled here and there, like with PAM accounts and all that, but just gain the knowledge to invest and also to, just understand about investment because I have a Robinhood account and different things, but just want to gain more knowledge and build up my financial future.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, there is nothing that makes me happier when I see coming over you guys enrolling. And so I just want to tell you personally, welcome to the sisterhood.
Thank
We
you.
are a family and you are going to get to know us all intimately.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
welcome to our sisterhood. I'm so glad that you joined. Who else do I need to recognize this evening who's actually in the house? Let's see. So I already said Rosemary. I don't see Carolyn Lassiter here, but I want to welcome her into the WealthyU sisterhood as well. Betsy Spratt also joined. I want to welcome her into the sisterhood. Antoinette Faison, I want to welcome her into the sisterhood. Therese Burnett, I want to welcome her into the sisterhood. Shanice Yoakley, I want to welcome her into the sisterhood. And not only that, Shanice was our grand prize winner of all of the packages that all of the prizes that we received. But the good thing is, guess what? If you're here and you join and you showed up for the Get Wealthy Remix, there's prizes for you too. So prizes all the way around. I just want to welcome and congratulate Shanice for being our grand prize winner. Now I'm looking for her little slide and I can't find it, but yes, there it is. Shanice Yoakley will win the A Purse of Your Own book, the Go Getter WealthyU Planner, the Nickel and Dime Your Way to Wealth, and the WealthyU wine glass. So guess what, Cynthia? You joined. So you are going to get a prize as well for being here for the Get Wealthy Remix. So I'm excited about that. So that's right. Let's give all of our new members a round of applause. Let's show our love and appreciation. So I'm excited for you all being here tonight. Now, let me go. One of the things I like to do, though, is for some of you may have not been here for all 3 days. So I like to sort of take a walk down memory lane and give you just a replay, if you will, of everything that we covered this week, just so that you know what we covered. And I'm also going to share a little bit about what is to come, because once you join, then you're going right into orientation, and that's going to be happening next week. You're going to get right in the mix because you're going to get access to the training calendar, and you're going to find out when we're going to have our next trainings that are for the WealthyU Ignite members. So first of all, the Get Wealthy Challenge was really about giving you insight into the secrets of the 1%. And those secrets are really the framework for WealthyU: mindset, strategy, and execution. That is really the framework. And I really shared with all of you, if you'll recall, exactly how I discovered these secrets, right? And the first thing that we covered was secret number one. And this is the most important thing of all. I can't say this enough, is that your ability to make the shift from a middle-class mindset to a wealth mindset is going to make all the difference in terms of you really achieving the financial transformations that you have seen displayed by many of our WealthyU members. Remember, shifting from a middle-class mindset and a wealth mindset is really rewiring your brain for wealth. If you agree with that in the chat, put yes in the chat, right? I want you to understand that it's not hard, but it's not easy, because what is going to be required of you is for you to do almost the opposite of what you see people around you doing. Do you guys understand that? Like, really what you're learning is that the wealthy do the opposite of what the average person does, and that's why they end up in a different place. And really, if you think about it, secret number one was about you understanding what? What was secret number one? What do you think secret number one was about you understanding? Anybody want to take a guess? That shift from an income to a wealth, from that middle-class mindset to a wealth mindset, that was really about understanding that we got the wrong blueprint. That's what I mean about in WealthyU. We're really going to be rewiring your mind around wealth. Agree or disagree with me in the chat. If you agree with what I just say, put agree in the chat. So that's the first thing that I need for you to understand is wealthy people think differently, and they have different belief systems, and they act differently than the middle class, the average middle class person. The bottom line, if you were to look at that chart, you would see that on the one hand, you got liabilities, and on the other hand, you got assets. Okay? And so the conversation in WealthyU is different in that we are going to be focused on you turning your income into wealth, and that means turning your income into assets. So the conversations are going to be about you analyzing and optimizing those investments that you already have so you can accelerate your financial growth. And then secret number two was really about you having a different strategy as you begin to think the spending mentality and the habits. Are you moving from just spending your money to investing in those same companies? And so rather than spending, you are going to be looking at opportunities to invest in. If you remember, I had Mona, one of our Legacy Wealth Accelerator members, came on, and that's exactly what she said, right? All around her, everywhere she went, she began to think about, oh, what's that company? Would that be a good investment? Autonomous vehicles, those types of things. You're going to be able to begin to understand that those are the same investments that are in those mutual funds, that are in your retirement account, and you're going to understand how to evaluate it. So the second aspect of the framework for financial success in WealthyU is strategy, right? Now, the third secret that I covered, the third part of that framework, is execution. And the truth is, middle class, we're playing not to lose. We're so afraid that we're going to lose our money. And what we have to understand is that the industry itself tells us that. And so what ends up happening is we end up in these investment vehicles like universal life, target date funds, guaranteed stable value funds, indexed annuities, tax shelters, annuities, where the wealthy have a different execution strategy, and they're using these kinds of things for estate planning. Instead of being in target date funds, they're in self-directed brokerage accounts where they're investing in aggressive mutual funds and stocks. Instead of guaranteed accounts, they're investing in stocks that are paying dividends, growth mutual funds. Instead of indexed annuities where they say you can't lose, but on the upside you can't gain. The bottom line is that in WealthyU, you are going to learn the same strategies that the wealthy know. And that is the whole point why I created WealthyU. I created WealthyU so that I could give you access to the knowledge that you haven't had access to through your formal education, because this is the insight that you only get if you have investable assets of $1 million or more, or you have inherited wealth that has a family office. You do not gain access to this knowledge unless someone gives it to you. And what I want you to understand is it's by design. Okay? So that's the mindset, strategy, and execution. But here's the other thing I want all of you to understand, okay? And it's that each of you have unique investment opportunity levers, and they're different for everyone. And the point that I make in WealthyU is that most of you would already be millionaires, but the knowledge of how to build wealth has been hidden from you. And here's what you need to understand is that you are going to be introduced to and be able to identify the opportunity levers that you get to take advantage of, and that this is what the wealthy know. You're going to learn why you need to take advantage of all of these different opportunities, which you may already have access to, but because you don't understand them through your employer, you have no idea of the opportunities that they can present to you. And let me just be frank with you, for many of you, whether you're retired already, you've been put into these investments. And what you don't understand is that you can be building, once you stop working, right? You're not working for an income. So what do you think you're going to need to be able to do? What do you think you're going to need to be able to do? You're going to need to be able to make your money work for you. And that's exactly what you're going to learn in WealthyU. And that is how to make your money work for you. And so people often ask me, well, how do you do it? In fact, I was being interviewed, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Was one of my big announcements this evening. I just got a copy of my new book, Wealth Secrets. This is my proof copy. Can you guys see this? Right? And this book is the result of the exact framework that you are now, those of you who joined, are going to get access to. Every chapter has the story of a woman who applied the secret that you learned in WealthyU, and her financial trajectory completely changed. Now, the other cool thing about this book is not only is there a book, but every one of the women in each of the chapters was interviewed on my show, Get Wealthy, that airs on the Black Star Network. So you're going to be able to read a chapter, and you're also going to be able to see the how it played out in that person's life in their own words. And that's the other announcement. One of the other things I want you to know, who is ready to go even higher? Not only do we have some amazing resources that I'm about to share with you, but we are going to be going next level and going through a whole rebranding and going through a whole new toolkit that, because you're already in, you're going to get access. So if you're ready to go to the next level, put next level in the chat if you're ready to go to the next level. Because one of the things I want you to understand is, and certainly Virginia can speak to that. Virginia is one of our fantastic ambassadors. And when Virginia joined, a lot of the things that you're going to have at your fingers right now weren't even available. Awesome. So who agrees? So Danelle agrees, Lamerle agrees, Jessica agrees, Cynthia agrees, Rosemary agrees. That's right. See, what I want you to understand is that if you're not moving ahead, you're falling behind. I want you to get that, like, nothing grows in the comfort zone. And what is required of us, if we're going to stay relevant in this fast moving world full of uncertainty and volatility, it means that we have to be willing to grow. And so one of the most important things you're really going to learn in WealthyU is not only how you shift from that middle class mindset to that wealth mindset, but how you shift your mind from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And what that requires of you is that a fixed mindset, this is a work of Carol Dweck, and it so aligns to what you're going to learn in WealthyU, is the fixed mindset says that I only have a certain amount of intelligence, that, you know, that I can only learn so much, that I was built this way, that, you know, I believe that things are the way they are, that this is just the way that I'm supposed to be. Whereas the growth mindset believes that anything is possible. The growth mindset in WealthyU believes that you have everything you need to be everything that you need to be. And so what you're going to learn in WealthyU is how to expand what is possible for you. And what I want you to know is, how can I say that? Because not only am I living proof, but over and over and over, you're going to see women really go through a metamorphosis right before your eyes. And so that's what I want to share with you for just a moment, exactly how that happens in WealthyU. Who's ready to hear exactly how so many women can come into this community, not have a lot of knowledge, not have a lot of an investment experience, and then within just a few short months or a year, are now managing their own investments, have built their own portfolios? How many of you want to learn exactly how that happens in WealthyU. If you want to learn that in the chat, put yes. If you want to learn the process, the exact process, framework, methodology that happens in WealthyU that allows women to get further faster. Okay, well, I'm going to share that with you, is exactly how it happens, right? So the first thing I want you to know is that it's because of our legacy wealth framework. It's our blueprint, right? So I want you to know this is a system. It's like you're not going to be left to your own designs to kind of figure all of this stuff out. We really have a process that we continue to what I optimize, and we actually listen to you. And if we hear that, you know, you might be in a skill building session and Virginia will come back and she'll say, well, you know what? We couldn't figure out why somebody couldn't understand that. Can you figure out why they couldn't understand that? And then we'll start thinking about it and we'll say, well, oh, I know why they couldn't understand it. Maybe we need to add this, and you'll start seeing right in front. Am I telling the truth, Virginia? You'll start seeing from month to month, week to week, us enhancing the resources that we give to you so that we can make it easier for you to understand. Because we know if it's easy for you to understand, you're going to apply it. So let me just share my screen with you, because I'm so proud of the work we've done in order to make this framework work for you and give you the right blueprint. So this is really where it starts with our legacy wealth framework mindset, making the shift from an income to the wealth mindset. So the first thing is really you understanding that you're no longer going to be just going from earning money, you're going to go to becoming an owner. And so what that means is that you're going to shift from saving and earning a paycheck to investing and learning how to take calculated risk, so that more of your income is turned into profitable assets, and you now can reap the greatest benefits in up and down markets over time, and you know exactly how to do it. So that's number one. That's the first part of the framework. The second part is strategy. You're going to identify your unique investment opportunity levers, and they're different for everyone. Some of you have employer-sponsored plans through your 401k or your retirement account that will also allow you to invest more. Some of you have self-directed accounts that will allow you to have access to a greater variety of investments and funds. Some of you work in the public sector and may even be able to purchase hours of service. Years of service, excuse me. They're different for everybody. You don't need to be looking at somebody else. You need to be figuring out what is the lever, and that's what a lever is. When you pull it, it makes you get further faster. If this is making sense to you in the chat, let me see if this is making sense to you. So what I want you to understand is each thing builds on the next. Right? Like you got to make that shift from an income to a wealth mindset. And we have to rewire your mind, because when you go out here, when you're not in WealthyU, when you're not in skill building, when you're not in this circle of sisters, you're going to go out here and you're going to start talking to people. Girl, you don't want to do that. You could invest in that Tesla stock, and they're going to be looking at you like you're crazy, right? So, and then you're going to start to think, well, maybe, no, you didn't get it wrong. The fact is that you got to be like that other 1%, that the 99% of them are behaving differently. If this is making sense to you, put yes in the chat. Okay. I want you to know that in WealthyU, we're going to show you how to put this framework together, and it acts like a flywheel. And when you put these all together, it's going to make you go further faster. So why is it important for you to identify your unique investment opportunity levers? Is because you're going to identify and leverage smart investment strategies that are unique to you, so that you can get your money growing much faster, keep more of it while staying on track to your wealth goals. That's the key, right? So everybody's different, and you have to lean into that different, to your unique experience, your unique opportunity. And that is the secret to accelerating your financial growth. And then the next part of the framework is execution, is that we are going to help you create a wealthy system so that you don't have to worry about the ups and downs of the market or anything else that's going on, because you have already created a system that is going to work regardless of the market going up and down. And so execution is the ability to go from delegation to smooth implementation, where you're just going to allow yourself to be at the whims of what someone tells you to do without you understanding it. Whereas now you're going to be able to implement it because you are going to have the exact knowledge that you need, so you can consistently accelerate your financial growth and experience time freedom, because that is the point of wealth, right? It's not being rich and having money, it's being wealthy and having time. And if you agree with that in the chat, put yes in the chat. I want to know if y'all are with me, because I want you to understand that we've given a lot of thought to this, right? Like, this is 25 years of hard, insightful work trying to figure out how we can make this information accessible and easy to apply. And that's what you're getting when you join WealthyU. So the process: analyze, optimize, maximize. In the next 12 months, that's exactly what's going to happen. You are in a wealth accelerator. That is the point, right? That is the point. But hold on, for our night program, I really, really want to show you the milestones that you can. Is this making sense to you guys? Is this helpful, me explaining this to you? Because over and over again, I want you to know where you are in the system, right? What you are, what is the aspect? Is it mindset? Is it strategy? Is it execution? And you understand what's going on with that flywheel. And I want to set an expectation for what you can expect. Because one of the other things we had to recognize was that everybody starts at a different place. So here's what I want you to know about WealthyU is, we know that every one of you starts at a different place, right? Some of you, depending upon where you are, you might be running for your first 6 figures. You might be running, you might be running for 7 figures. You might already have assets. You might be at a point where you're saying, listen, I know I should be further ahead. It doesn't matter. That's all I want you to know. It doesn't matter where you are, because listen, you can't even get behind in WealthyU. Do you know why? Because you're all starting at a different place. So what I want you to do is run your own race. This is very, very important if you're going to be successful in WealthyU. Run your own race. Don't be afraid to ask a question. Do not be intimidated by somebody coming into our a skill building and they know how to go through that worksheet, right? Because this is their 6th month and you're at month 1. And so what can happen is you can feel like, oh, this is going to be too difficult. No, it's not going to be hard. The only reason they knew is they're able to do it because we're financial athletes. You're going to run this play over and over again. You're going to learn how to analyze and research mutual funds. You're going to apply it. You're going to come back. You're going to come back and you're going to say, okay, I applied it. What else? But this was missing. That's why we have skill building sessions in real time. And we have you studying the same mutual fund each month. You're going to have a mutual fund to study, right? So that when you come to the skill building session, you'll be able to see, oh, well, that's the thing I missed, right? And then you can come from that and then you can apply it to your own situation. And then let me tell you, the light bulbs go off. And so let me just talk about for a minute is, and you're going to have milestones, right, that you're going to achieve. And so the first milestone is going to be identifying your personal wealth gap. And you're going to do that with your workbook. And you're going to actually come to a skill building session that's going to really show you what your wealth gap is and how to accelerate to that 7 figures. Really, it's not 7 figures for everyone. It really depends. Again, we all start at a different place, but what that financial independence planner really tells you is you're going to understand exactly what you need to do so you don't run out of money and you're able to live the life that you desire. The next step, once we know that, the next is the next success milestone is you're going to learn how to analyze, optimize your existing investments. Like I shared with you, some of you would already be millionaires. The only reason you're not is because you're in those middle class investments. You're playing it to save. You're playing not to lose instead of winning, so your money can't grow. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to learn how to invest just like Warren Buffett does. You're literally going to learn how to analyze and research your mutual fund investments. And then from there, your focus is going to be to increase those investment contributions. So we're going to make the money work harder. We're going to put more in it. And then ultimately, you're going to increase your net worth. And then you're going to graduate to our WealthyU Society, where you're going to learn how to invest in individual stocks, build a portfolio, and so on. Now, you actually can make this jump at any time within that 12 months, and you will be credited the amount you invested here. So what I want you to know is that there are levels to this. In the chat, put their levels, just put levels. There are levels. But what I don't want you to do is to ever get overwhelmed, right? And so I'm not going to go over I'm going to briefly go through everything that you get when you join WealthyU, especially for those of you who've already joined. You're going to get access to the WealthyU curriculum and portal. And if you already joined and you have, listen, you have until 12 o'clock midnight to get our Fast Start package, which is giving you $1,000 off. After 12 o'clock midnight, that price is going up to $2,997. And you will see it's still going to be a good value at that price. So you're going to get the WealthyU curriculum and portal. Every month, you're going to have member group meetings. You're going to have your WealthyU ambassador, who has been with you throughout the challenge, is going to become your success wealth mentor. You're going to get what we call our workbook, that provides you with tools that help you get out of debt, come up with a plan for that. Our financial independence planner, we're going to show you how to not run out of money and what you need to do to accelerate your financial growth. And you're going to go to our skill building sessions on analyzing and researching mutual funds. You also get an opportunity to go to the Wealth Gap strategy sessions. And that's where you will use that tool book, that the resource that really will show you what you actually need to do based on your current situation to make sure you have more than enough. And so you build a legacy. That is the point. Not that you spend every dime that you have in this lifetime, but you are actually creating legacy wealth. You're going to, again, learn how to analyze, optimize, and maximize your investments. And for many of you, what you're going to see is what Virginia saw, one of our ambassadors. She stayed for 25 years in her retirement account. And within just 2 years, she doubled the amount that it took her 20 years to invest. If it can happen for her, it can happen for you. And that's exactly what you're going to learn. And in our portal, you're going to get access to all of our previous masterclass training. They touch on everything from earning more money to early stage investments to crowdfunding. All of that is our founding member price, $29.97. But if you join by midnight, it's only going to cost, you're going to have $1,000 savings of $1,997. You can pay that in full and save $400 or $197 a month. So if we could, I want to make sure that you don't get left behind. You know, we just introduced the WealthyU Ignite program this year. Our other program was Virginia, if you could put the link in the chat. So literally, I'm going to go right over there and show you that all you have to do is make an investment in yourself, right? And that investment, and the difference between an investment and an expense is you're going to get a return on investment. And so this year, this challenge, I showed you examples of women who went from being $40,000 in debt to now being over six figures, earning six figures in their retirement plan. And what I want you to know is it's not like it's something unusual happening in WealthyU. Every day, at least once a week, I get a text or an email really amazed at the fact that they didn't have a stash account. I think you heard one of our folks talk about that, and now they have $30,000 in account. So the question becomes, and let me just ask the question, is a $2,000 investment worth you accelerating and having a brokerage account of $30,000? Would that be worth it to you? If so, put yes in the chat, right? So all I want you to know is, Cynthia, you made an investment. You've been coming to these challenges. You said you've been through 3 challenges. All I want to say is imagine if you had just leaned in. But the other point I want to make is it's never too late, right? I know you're going to be the person that says, oh man, I joined. And then a year from now, we're going to be talking about your successes, because that's how it works. That's the whole point of WealthyU. That's our whole goal. Our whole goal is for you to have your financial transformation so that you can inspire someone else. It's not about me telling you what, like a lot of these people are, oh, well, I have this and, my house is here and I travel that. What do you care about that? Right? Like, we base our team, bases our success on your results. Were you better off 3 months from now, 6 months from now, than when you started? That is the goal. The ultimate goal is to get 1 million women to $1 million in investable assets. We haven't gotten to 1 million women yet, but several of the women in Wealthy You have accomplished that goal, are either a quarter of a way, halfway, on their way to it. And I know if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. And it's just a matter of, listen, the most important component of Wealthy You really is our sisterhood, right? How have you felt spending time with me for that? That's why I do the Get Wealthy Challenge. In fact, you know, my husband was like, are you tired? It's like, yeah, but the reason that it's important, and look at the team. I mean, Virginia's been with me every night, right? Like, what I want you to know is that the reason we do these challenges is because we want you to already experience what it would feel like, right? To be having these conversations around wealth, to be learning around investments. And so the question I have for those of you, well, Pauline's here. I was just on a one-on-one call with her earlier. Pauline's in our Legacy Wealth Accelerator program. Lamerle too. We just had a conversation about her portfolio. The point I want to make is, how is it going to feel for you to have this in your life every week? So that's the point I'm making. The reason we do these challenges is that we want you to experience what our members experience 12 months of the year. And imagine once you really get inside of the tools and start applying this, what can happen for you. So tonight was really about me welcoming our new members into the WealthyU Society. Again, those that are here, Cynthia and Rosemary, I know I did this spontaneously, but I wanted you to know personally that we are grateful that you invested in yourself, and we're going to do everything within our power to partner with you along your journey to wealth and help you achieve the level of financial success you desire and you deserve. And so for those of you who are going to be watching this on replay, or for those of you who are watching me actually on YouTube or in the Facebook group, all I want to tell you is to get in on what we're up to. It absolutely is. It absolutely is available to you. I want to thank our members for joining, because if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. And for those of you who may be sitting on the sidelines, I really want to invite you to reach out to your ambassadors. Listen, if you have any questions, if you have any qualms about, is this going to work for me? Is this information going to be too hard? I mean, Virginia, she's on the phone right now, probably texting somebody who's asking questions. She's been on the phone all day on Zoom. I've been on Zoom all day taking questions from you. We know we don't take anything for granted. We know that you've worked hard to accumulate any amount of savings or investments. And when you make an investment in us, we want you to know that we don't take it lightly, and that we're going to make sure that you get a return on investment. But here's the other thing I want to tell you, and that I tell my team too. We don't try to convince you, right? Like we're not in the hard sell business. Like we want you to value what we do as much as we value you making an investment in this, in the WealthyU community. And finally, so I want you to put that, if you got to 12 o'clock midnight to join at the savings of $19.97. that's the apply link, Virginia. You need to put the WealthyU Ignite link in there. Sorry, I know we're moving fast. If you have any questions, make sure that, again, you reach out to your ambassador. Again, I want to, the announcement that I had was, here's the other thing I'm going to ask for you. So I want you guys to get ready. This is the proof copy of Wealth Secrets. This book will hit the Amazon stores and other bookstores on July 11th. Who is willing to help us make this a bestseller? Are y'all, if you're willing to help us make this a bestseller, I want you to say yes. Because if you are, I haven't asked for all of you, is on July 11th, well, we're going to have 2 days to make this thing a big seller on Amazon. I'm going to make you all aware of that. And then I've got a whole PR machine behind me, and we're going to be going on book tour. We believe that this will be another opportunity for us to help 1 million women get to $1 million in investable assets. So the other thing I'm going to ask for y'all is, rather than explaining to people about WealthyU, I want you to give them a book, or either tell them to buy the book, right? The other thing I want you to do is, as you want to bring your circle around, then I want you to continue to invite people to a WealthyU community. Every month we have WealthyU Wind Down. That's when I want you to invite your circle, because the only way we're going to get to those 1 million women is that we have a network, right? A network that extends beyond our sisterhood, reaches out to others, bring other people back in so that they can experience the same kind of financial success, financial transformation, so that they can get this information, so that they can now get the one thing, the most valuable asset of all, and that's the knowledge of how to build wealth. And so that we can now pass that legacy on, right? So once you get it, then you're going to be able to share it with your family. And then your family is not going to be in the situation that we were all in. We're just like me. When I went into that investment company, when I started out, and I looked around and said, I had no idea this even existed. Well, guess what? We get to break that cycle and create a legacy of wealth. So thank you so much, you guys, for joining us for the Get Wealthy Remix. Rosemary and Cynthia, we can't wait to see you. Oh, lastly, one of the other things I wanted to tell you is you should have got your confirmation letter if you signed your contract. Orientation is on Monday. Do not miss it. If at any, you should have already joined the WealthyU Ignite community. And there is where we post everything that you're going, any upcoming training, any links to the Zoom, anything that you need to be is there. And I want to make sure that you connect with your WealthyU, now your member success mentor, if you have any questions. So with that, I want to just thank you guys for joining me for the Get Wealthy Remix. Virginia, thanks so much for staffing me this evening. And we'll see you right at orientation. Again, 12 o'clock midnight. Don't miss out. And we hope to welcome you into the WealthyU community. Thanks so much for joining us with me this week. If you have any questions, reach out to your ambassador, and good night.